Welcome,
Howdy, everyone.
everybody. All right.
It's
You do it at the
already
same
gone down.
time.
Hello, everybody. This is Video Games versus the Media.
Is that our name?
That is our name. Yes,
Okay,
that's
cool.
the name on the poster. That's what we're doing.
Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself real quick?
I am Jonathan, the Box Jew.
Oh,
Oh.
I'm
I'm
Alex.
doing this
I don't
now.
have a nickname. Horowitz.
I'm Tyler Ayers.
I'm going with the committed, I guess. All right, fine.
Yeah. We didn't think this
I
far in
wasn't
advance.
aware of this.
So. All right.
Anyway, we are here to talk about video games and their impact with other medias. And today we'll be talking about video games and movies.
Movies.
Spooky.
Coexisting.
It's not spooky.
But it could be.
mean,
Resident Evil.
A movie we're going to be talking about can be kind of spooky if you're like 5.
Good point.
So anyway, let's start with our first topic,
All right.
Death Race.
Good movie.
Good movie.
Probably have
come
never
out?
seen it.
I believe 1976.
I thought that was the game.
They came out at the same time.
Oh,
Yeah, douchebag.
all right.
My bad. Let me correct myself. 1975.
Okay, there we go. Death Race 2000, 1975.
Yes,
Good
exactly.
movie. 100
Never
on
seen
Rotten
it.
Tomatoes. Never
No, it
did.
did not get 100.
Lie. Rotten Tomatoes
It
wasn't
might
there.
have.
The internet didn't exist yet.
No, you want me to look it up? I will look it up. You keep talking. I'll tell you what they got.
Okay, and so we'll also be comparing it to the NES, or not the NES game, but the Atari game for 1976.
Well, it was a standalone. Whatchamacallit game.
What was it? Death Race game?
Yeah, but it was an arcade game.
Oh, it was
Yeah,
an arcade?
It was a
Okay.
It
cabinet.
was an arcade cabinet.
Alright, whatever. Arcade cabinet, Death Race, 1976.
85% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Not too
that's
bad.
still not bad. It's like
Not
a
bad at
B.
all. 6.2 on IMDb.
That's not
That's
good.
the worst.
Not great. Not great at all.
All
Who's
right.
got a score?
Either way, let's talk about the controversy between the Death Race movie and Death Race the game, because
Yes.
people were fucking stupid.
That is true. Should we bleep that out
Maybe, I don't know.
in post if it happens?
Is it advertiser friendly?
Everything is now.
Now sponsored by EPY. No, I'm kidding.
Please don't sue us.
Please.
Anyway, in the
um,
game, you
We're
run
still
over.
in the movie first.
Well, should we, or should we talk about both at the same time?
Okay, so you see here. No, so in the movie, kind of think of it like Hunger Games, but with cars. The whole world's overpopulated, and they make a game where you have to run over people with your car, and you get points while you go cross country.
Sounds
It's
legit.
like extra points for like
Good job.
old people
And
and
children.
babies and pregnant mothers. Weird, very weird.
Yeah.
So you hear that, and it's like, oh, that sounds like an interesting movie.
Yeah,
Very
definitely.
violent.
Now let's talk. What happened in the game?
In the game, for the arcade, the game was about, because Atari and other places had a rule about not killing actual humans, so they replaced the humans with zombies, but people who played the game, consumers and parents, thought that, oh, they're actual people, and so that started like one of the big first moments of people thinking that video game violence will turn their kids into violent people.
So
Stabby.
if you look at this, if you think about this, there's a game. First of all, an arcade game that it came in '76, so it looks like absolute shit. And there's
Maybe
like
well for
blocks
that
of
time.
people. It's like, oh, those are zombies. It's like that is way too violent. We can't have that. But then you see a movie. It's like, let's run over children and stuff. Oh, perfect movie. 85% Rotten Tomatoes. Absolutely fantastic. And it got its own spin-off series of Death Race 2, Death Race 3, Inferno, and the new movie coming out this year, Death Race 2050. Ooh.
Literally never heard of like any of those movies besides 2050, and it's not
Exactly.
even out yet.
Yeah. I know.
But either way, yeah, it's definitely strange how the game got a less warm reception when it's about zombies. Although, to be fair, since it was made in '76, there's probably nothing to actually say that there are zombies.
I mean, it probably said like on the side of the box, like, "Ooh, let's run over zombies." Ooh.
Well, maybe.
And
Maybe.
they're like, "No." Not to mention there were tombstones.
That's
where
true.
the
There were
zombies came
tombstones.
from.
Yeah, that's true. To show that there are zombies, yeah.
And they're like, "No, can't have that."
Can't have that. Zombies bad. Killing humans, good.
Yeah, exactly. Movies, good. Video games, no, you can't do that. Too
Speaking
interactive.
of, great transition. Fucking Jesus.
That was not a good transition at all.
It was going to be
brain
like-
shut down, folks. Give them a second.
Yeah. Let's talk about movies and video games. The
Together?
adaptions. Together. Coming together.
You mean the mistakes?
The mistakes.
Oh, right.
The accidents
mistakes.
no one wanted.
Let's think back to all those good times
Oh, yeah.
Super Mario Brothers movie.
Doom movie.
It's beautiful. Is it
U-Bowl.
B-movie?
There's a Doom movie.
Oh.
And it's bad.
Not the B movie.
Oh,
the Doom
B movie did get a video game.
It did, and it's a sequel.
Really?
Essentially. It's essentially
That's
a sequel.
sad.
What happens in the game, John?
In the game, and it's kind of a sequel. It's basically taking place. Fuck. All right, it's taking place with Barry Benson being interviewed about his time saving the world, and so it acts as if it's after the movie.
Oh.
Also, there was a cutscene where it comes very close to Barry B. Benson just fucking the girl.
Wow.
Absolute the
Wow.
bang bus, everything.
Wow.
Wow. And there goes our sponsorship from IUPUI.
Or not real sponsorship.
Or
fake.
fake sponsorship. But anyway, let's talk about how movies and video games, or movie adaptations of video games and video game adaptations of movies, are all just awful, and why they are.
Well,
Mostly.
I think I think the thing is, like, there are certain things you can do in video games. Like, you can have a ton of fucking blood and, like, people exploding and stuff. It's harder to do that in real life. So I think, like,
Look at Michael Bay. Come on.
well, you know what I mean.
He,
Like, so
he doesn't explode
I think,
people.
like, the violence factor becomes harder to portray in video game movies, which is why people don't like them as much, because if you can't portray what you see in the video game and experience, it's not as fun for you to watch.
I think it's also an issue of just straight up adapting, because if you look at the Mario Brothers movie, where it changes everything so drastically, like,
It's just not good.
it's not good.
The
It's
best part is the actors.
Bob Hoskins and Jolly Ozawa were good as Mario and Luigi Mario. Thank you, Nintendo. You, I love you guys, but why do you do this?
Link.
Link,
Don't forget
Link.
about Link.
Fucking Kirby, Samus. I don't. Why?
Samus Aran.
Listen, it doesn't matter anymore. Reboot.
Listen.
Reboot to be Samus.
Okay, so I'm going to deviate from you on that point a little bit. I think that it's just because you can't put a 7-hour story video game into
Yeah.
a movie. Just like look at
Also that.
first of all, shut up,
Vending
vending machines. I don't care about you. Look at Assassin's Creed. It just came out.
Yep.
That was a shitty movie because a lot of people liked it who have never played the game. They're like, oh, it's a good action movie. It may be a good action movie, but coming off of the standpoint of playing all the Assassin's Creed beforehand, it's a terrible game because you spend half the movie in the real time, in like normal time, and then they make an animus that does not work like it does in the game. You don't go into your dreams. It's like you're actually living out these things, which is completely strange. That's not what happens. And it's so much different from the game, and you spend so little time like learning about the world, about the character, that it just comes out as a
Bland
generic action movie. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with Alex on that, where it's just, you're constrained by time, so like...
You're constrained by time, you're constrained on what you can do. And you also you don't have the quote-unquote niche of video gamers. Because you have to try and grasp them, and you also have to try and grasp people who've never played
you're
games.
you're pandering to a wider audience than video games do, which is the hard part.
But okay, so you can't one movie for Assassin's Creed can't do it. A trilogy for Tetris? Oh yeah, we need that for sure.
Oh, definitely.
Would you like to talk about that, Jonathan?
Yes, let's talk about it. So I looked on, if nobody knows about U-Bowl, he's a fantastic person who's made...
You're a liar.
Postal.
I know, I am, but Postal, Blood Rain, House of the Dead...
These are all video games, just to say.
Yeah, video games with movies adaptations made by U-Bowl because he is a bad person.
Yes.
Now, I don't know if U-Boll's making the Tetris movie because I looked at the IMDb page and I don't think he is. But however, whoever is making the Tetris movie said that, well, one, they said that Tetris has too much potential to just be one movie, and so they had to spread it out to 3. And second of all, why would you not just go
Tetris.
Second of all, on a bigger note, why would you not just go for the 4th? Tetris blocks are all 4 blocks, so why not just make it a whole thing and just 4 movies?
No.
Yes.
Why
They
make it
don't
a
think
movie
that
at all?
far into it.
Well, they definitely should.
How do you
Never
make a
heard of
Tetris
plots.
movie? That doesn't make... There's nothing there. There's no plot. It's just... Make these
There's
blocks...
not even any characters.
Yeah.
They would be do
Square.
better making a Dr. Mario movie. 'Cause
Yeah,
at least it's
exactly.
Dr. Mario
At least it's
and
Mario.
Yeah.
The demon gremlin things. So like,
There's also I believe there's a Space Invaders movie coming out at some point.
Okay, that's I
It
can
makes
accept
sense.
that. I
There's-
can accept
There's
that.
at least something you can do with
it's just
Space
going to be like
Invaders.
Pixels.
Yeah.
Pixels is Space Invaders the movie, just really shittily.
Well,
It
no,
has a
the
lot of
Futurama
arcade-
episode with Space Invaders in it is the Space Invaders movie.
and that's good.
Yeah, it is
It's-
good.
It's an episode of a TV series, and it's only like 10 minutes of actual fighting of the aliens.
Well, not to mention it's Futurama
Yeah.
compared to
that's true.
Pixels.
All right, let's talk about movies have been made into video games,
Oh, well, when it comes to those, I
like
find that
adaptations.
animated movies,
Animated games or animated movies that get turned to games have much better
They're-
reception.
yes, they work better because first of all, they're already like way out there in the first
Yeah.
place.
Yeah.
Like if you, like we were talking before the show, like the SpongeBob SquarePants movie game. SpongeBob started as a TV show, and then it made some games, then it made a movie, then it made a game about the movie, and that game was fun because
It was fun because you could do more with it because it's SpongeBob. You can
Right.
you can do whatever you want with
you went
SpongeBob.
from an
essentially.
hour and a half long movie to like a 5 hour game, and that was enjoyable the whole way through.
Well, not just because of the like adaptation of the movie to the time and stuff like that, but it's also because it works really well because of SpongeBob as a character
That's true.
and like his design. Like you can stretch him, you can do whatever you want to them. There's nothing that
Whatever you
SpongeBob
want.
can't really stop it.
$20 to get you anything.
Stop it. He'll
Got a
he'll
whole
wipe up
lot more
anything.
for
He'll wipe up anything. But that's the reason why SpongeBob works so well as a movie, as opposed to something like as a movie that doesn't have such a good critical reception as the SpongeBob movies, the Matrix movies, which are generally seen as not good or not great. I've never played them.
I like the first
but-
Matrix movie.
Yeah.
And the first Matrix movie game, I didn't play the second or third one, but I played the first one, and I very much enjoyed it when I was younger. I haven't played it since because I don't have a working Xbox, and it didn't work on my 360, so I was like, I don't know what I'm doing here.
Let's talk about the Ratchet and Clank movie, though.
I
Okay,
never
we're
saw
not,
it.
first of all, we're not talking about that movie.
Why?
It could have been good. I didn't see it.
Yeah, I didn't see it
I
either.
thought you saw it with me. I swear to God, me and you saw it.
I never
Oh.
saw the movie. I played the game.
It was okay. It had all the original actors, like voice actors.
That's
it was
good.
just
That's cool.
I don't know. It just kind of left you wanting to
Well,
play the game rather than
It's
watch
because
the movie. To be honest,
game.
So it's
So
just
what
an
they did
ad
with the
for
game-
basically, yeah.
Yeah, what they did with the game is they took all like the cutscenes are from the movie.
Mhm.
So you couldn't record it because we recorded it for our channel and put it on the channel, and I recorded 8 episodes. Got myself halfway through the game, and it's like I put up the first 2 episodes, and they got taken down immediately because all the cutscenes are from the movie. And since you can't put movie scenes on YouTube without getting taken down, there was nothing I could do, and
Rip.
that was sort of upsetting just because of the fact of it's like I literally can't do anything.
Yeah, it's always upsetting, I guess, more when it's a movie adaptation of a video game of the same series, because at least with like say for the Ratchet and Clank movie, you said it's essentially more of an ad for the game.
Basically,
That's
Yeah.
what happens. That's what happens when
When
you
a
have
game
like,
and a movie comes at the same time,
yeah, like that's
one
a big
becomes an
issue.
ad for the other.
Yep.
And that's
And
kind of
then
the sad part.
it's
Like
very,
the Amazing Spider-Man game, that was shit.
Never saw
The
it.
first movie was okay. The game was absolutely terrible. Second Amazing Spider-Man came out. That movie was bad. Everybody says, and I talked to, I haven't seen it because I refuse to watch any Andrew Garfield other movies because I don't like him very much. The game was terrible as well. But I believe the game was more of an ad for the movie because it's like, oh look, because usually the games come out before the movie does. So it's like, oh look, I get to play what happens in the movie, and then we'll go see the movie. It's gonna be so amazing and exciting. And it's not really.
Yeah.
It's just an advertisement, and that's like, this sucks.
Yeah.
It's all about making money, you see.
You ever seen a video game movie that's done it correctly? Like, that's actually like captured what the essence of the game was, and you felt enjoyable.
I don't think I have when it comes to like actual Hollywood films. Like people who do it as fan projects or like a school thing. Everybody who does it just for fun does these things way better in a shorter amount of time.
Yeah,
Fan projects are always so much better than.
I know these two
actual
are probably
movies.
like grown at it, but there is a technical quote unquote movie for Sonic the Hedgehog that came out. in,
Tentacle.
Like, what?
Are you
Excuse
talking
me?
about the Sonic movie? I
Yeah,
saw that.
yeah.
Good movie.
It was good. It wasn't really an adaptation of any game per se, except that it had Metal Sonic in it. So that's
It was an adaptation of
of the
whole
series, yeah, of the series, yeah. And it was really good. It had fucking
It didn't have the best animations per se, but it was put on by people who aren't professionals.
well, no, it was actually it was
They're
made.
not like Hollywood professionals.
Yeah, they're not Hollywood professionals. They were made like in Japan from like Sega themselves.
Yeah.
And so they knew more about what they could do, and they knew more about the characters themselves instead of people from
Right.
Hollywood who don't know the games, who just want to make the adaptation for money.
Right.
Except there is one issue with the movie itself, and that is that
Bad voice actor for Sonic.
Tails has a cold the whole time, and
Has a
Sonic's
cold?
it essentially sounds like he has his nose is stuffed the whole time.
Me.
And Sonic's voice actor doesn't know whether to be Australian, British, or American. Choose an accent, please. But you know what? At least he's better than Julia White, aka Urkel.
Right.
There's,
Old Sonic.
there's no worse voice actor than Urkel for a character that's supposed to be the embodiment of 90s attitude.
Just remember, he's way past cool. And yeah, like fan projects so much better. And I know, coming back to our main topic, games are not looked down upon as much nowadays. I
Yeah.
mean, people still are like, "Oh, I don't want to let my children play these games because they're too
Violent, and they'll
Violent
make them violent.
And I can understand that, like GTA or Gears of War or Call of Duty. I can understand not wanting your kids to play those, but those games are not going to inherently make your children violent. I mean, if you look at, like, in the next episode, we're going to talk about TV. Just look at TV. Turn anything on in, like, a channel range of 200. You'll probably get at least 30 or 40 shows that are about people dying, people getting murdered, or God knows what, just death and violence.
Drugs and sex.
Yeah,
Drugs,
exactly.
sex.
Masters of
Sometimes-
sex.
Sometimes there's
Sex
like
and the
things
City.
about rape in it, and that's horrendous. On
That's no good.
that,
No.
stop it. Stop it. We passed that. But yeah, there's a definitely bigger stigma towards video games nowadays than there are movies nowadays. Now, in the past, they both kind of have like that similar stigma where it's like, oh, both will make your kids violent if you let them watch or play them. But now movies have kind of been like let go of that, where video games have still somewhat let go, but there are still people being like, there's still people saying that, oh, these video games will make your kids violent, but these movies, which are ultra violent and ultra just have awful topics or anything like that, these won't do anything bad to your kids. But these violent video games, like Mortal Kombat, or at one point Pac-Man, even, where
Always popping pills.
they don't really, where it's too outlandish to be taken seriously,
Right,
will make your kids violent.
right. I mean, okay, so think about this. Only recently have they been making toys for video games, and they're like Minecraft toys and toys of games that aren't that, like, are really big on the wider scale, but don't really have anything to do with it. But then you see, like, an Avengers movie, which is extremely violent, and I know it's PG-13, and it's not that bad, but then you market it along with toys to let your kids pretend that they are the Avengers, and they'll go and beat each other up with all these plastic toys and shit. It's like,
I think
where do you draw the line?
I think the controversy back in the 70s was video games were so new. It was like this new thing, like, oh, movies have been around, for like 30 or 40 years at this point. Video
Longer,
games, like,
longer
like
than
10 or 15 years. So it's like people are like, this is new. This is a new thing. Let's bash on this. Like, it's
Right.
easier.
We're
It's easier to
afraid. We're
blame
afraid.
video games than movies now.
Right. It's the
And
same thing they're doing with, like, internet personalities.
Yeah.
It's easier to bash on them
And I
because
think
they put themselves out there.
Now, the reason people blame video games is you can control the characters, whereas in movies you're not controlling what's
Right.
happening.
Yeah.
I think that's part of the reason people blame it, but it's still. I agree with Alex. I don't think video games make you violent. If anything, they let you channel your violence into the game, and it'll relieve stress and
And
everything like that.
exactly.
There's research that shows that even playing violent video games, it will help kids de-stress instead of increase stress, increase aggression, because it lets them get that out. It lets them use their stress to go through a game instead of taking it out on actual people.
Exactly.
Don't
And
beat
that-
Timmy up.
Don't beat Timmy
Beat
up, but beat this
Scorpion
guy
up.
up. Yeah.
Well, like, I mean, coming off that point, I find myself a lot of times when I'm playing GTA, when I get bored, like, I'm not going to go kill somebody. I'm going to get in a car and I'm going to try and drive like a normal pedestrian down the street. It's extremely irritating and hard to do because, well, first of all, you go like 10 miles an hour when you want to like drive 200 down the street, ramming into everything.
You
Yeah.
go to slip and slide like maniac.
Yeah, it's true, but it's just, it lets you de-stress after a long day. You just go home, pop in a video game, and you go start smacking things, as opposed to
Smacking
punching
an
holes
actual
in the
person.
wall. Yeah,
Or
exactly.
smacking your monkey.
All right.
Yes, we can smack our pet monkeys, Tyler.
Can we bleep that?
No.
We're doing it live.
I mean, video games have also helped in other ways, like
An example being Tetris, that they found evidence to support that Tetris can help people, people's PTSD. It helps them, their memories get clouded and they stop having as many memories, and the memories aren't as clear. It helps them lose focus on the memories and focus on something else to help not cure it, but at least treat it.
Yeah, it helps you by playing one of the most irritating games of all time.
Listen, the game's fun.
The game is fun, but it gets extremely aggravating and stressful eventually. Or you can talk about Snow Days. It's a game created in 2003 to help, or Snow World, whatever the hell it's called. Listen, it's close enough. It's a game created in 2003 that was basically you're in a giant snowy place having a snowball fight with snowmen, and it's extremely helpful to burn patients because they can get all their bandages taken off and everything without the use of morphine, because they're in a virtual reality world where they're throwing snowballs at things and their whole body cools down because they're like, oh, look at me, I'm actually here, we throw snowballs. And it's useful to society once you figure out how to fully harness its power.
And going off of that, there's also the game Remission, which is used for cancer patients, because in the game you basically shoot cancer cells and learn about the treatment for cancer, and it helps kids with cancer understand that the treatment will help them instead of having an apathetic feeling or a fearful feeling of the treatment itself.
Is this like Call of Duty but with cancer cells?
It's more like Galaxian but with cancer cells.
Oh, okay.
I had never heard of those two games, but that's really interesting. So
Good games.
Yeah,
I mean,
good.
Snow World needs an update because again, it was made
2003.
14 years ago.
Snow
It's like
World for
shit.
Switch.
and they still make games like that too. Like, you know, that Dragon Cancer came out not long. It's about the dad going through like cancer treatments with his son, and it's like it just goes to show you like, oh, like this is how you can cope with it, and this is how he coped with it, and you know it's not the end of the world at this point. You can just still keep going, and it's a visual representation of that to help people understand better than just, you know, I'm going to tell you a story over like text or over an interview.
Yeah,
That's true. Yeah, that ends up. That's going to wrap up
episode 1.
Heck
Join
yeah.
us on episode 2 when we talk about music and television.
MTV.
That's music television.
Same difference.
When's MTV gonna bring back the music video?
Never.
Yeah. All right. See you guys later.
Peace.
Goodbye.